Hey there, Tom here from the Run Testers with my final review of the New Balance More V6. Let's take a look. The New Balance Fresh Foam X More V6 costs £150 or $154.99. It weighs 291 grams or 10.3 ounces for men in a size 8, and the drop is 4mm. The More has always been a shoe designed for easy mile comfort. Over the previous versions, it has seen a number of developments, with the More V5 delivering a noticeably softer ride than its predecessors. And although welcomed by some, that change did have an adverse effect on the stability of the shoe. The More V6 makes a few tweaks across the shoe to rectify that, including a more structured heel counter and higher sidewalls, aiming to continue the comfort people expect from the More line, but with plenty of support. The shoe also features a roomier engineered mesh upper to improve the fit, and has a modest level of outsole rubber to protect the midsole and provide a good level of grip. The New Balance More V6 is also available in a wide version. So the fit for me in the V6, I'm a size 8 in the UK, this is a size 8. Very, very comfortable. There's loads of space for my big toe, loads of space in the forefoot. The midfoot is fairly relaxed. I've got the standard version of this. There is a wide version. It's definitely a shoe designed to offer people who want pure comfort as much accessibility as possible. But in the standard version, for my average width feet, it's absolutely fine. It feels like there's actually plenty of space available in there, and there's been some updates to the design as well, and a lot of those have impacted the fit. There's the front of the shoe is less shallow now, so there's even more space for the top of your toes, so it just be a little bit roomier there, and the heel count has been updated, so there's a bit more structure in this shoe now, which just means you get a better lockdown fit, which helps with stability and comfort, which works alongside everything else. So it's really a very, very comfortable shoe. It's designed for comfort, it's designed for accessibility, and I'd definitely stay to my UK size 8 in this shoe. Okay, so I have talked about the New Balance More quite a lot over the past few years. I'm a massive fan of the More, and as they update and add new versions of them, I generally pretty much always like it. But I think the thing to say about the More is that, definitely the most recent versions, is that it is a shoe designed for a specific type of person and a specific type of run. It's a shoe that is built for comfort. It's a shoe that's designed for recovery runs. It's a shoe that's designed for longer sessions. If you're going at a nice, comfortable pace, you're not racing, you're not aiming for some sort of versatility. That's what it's for, and that's what I like using it for. I don't use it for anything else. Previous versions of it, I haven't used for anything else. It's really just clocking off those miles in as much comfort as possible. The New Balance More V6, the changes are minimal in comparison to the V5, and the changes are mainly impacting the stability elements of the shoe. It's apparently got a wider base. It doesn't appear to have much of a wider base when I compare it with a V5, but apparently that is the case, just to add a little bit extra stability. I've talked about the upper or the heel lock, the heel counter on the shoe being a bit more structured and more locked down. So pretty much everything about it that has been updated is designed to just add a bit more stability. The reason for that is that the V5 was a fairly big change to the V4. The V4 and the V3 were fairly well-balanced midsoles. They were quite a bit firmer than the 5 and the 6, and that meant that they didn't have as many stability issues as you get in the 5. So New Balance has realised that, and in this version they've tried to keep the midsole foam the same. It's still very, very soft, but they're trying to modify it so that it's adding more stability while still retaining that level of softness. And it does it very well. So I've never really had any problems with the stability in the more range, especially the more 5 and 6, because it does have a really wide base on it. I don't necessarily need a lot of stability in shoes, but I have noticed since running in this over the past couple of weeks that there's a little bit more stability in it, which is a welcome change to a lot of the people who maybe weren't a fan of the 5 and the 6 because of the changes in the stability, which will be a welcome change to people who weren't a fan of the V5 because of those updates that were made that impacted the stability of the shoe. It's still not as stable as the V4, but its midsole foam is very, very soft. So you do lose a little bit of that stability that you would have got from the V4, but it's better than the V5. So if you bought the V5 and you were unhappy that it was a little bit unstable, you do get a bit more stability in this. It's not massive. It's not an overhaul of the shoe. It feels very similar to the V5. There's not many major feeling in this shoe that you'll get that you don't get in the V5. So other than that, the other things I would say about the shoe is that it feels a little bit more flexible in the midfoot, not massively. It's definitely a bit. There's a little bit more room for movement in it than in V5. The outsole is pretty similar. It's a pretty good outsole, to be honest. I've been out running in the rain most days this week in this shoe, and it's been absolutely fine on it. It's not the best outsole by any stretch of the imagination. There's plenty of better outsoles, but it's fine. It does the job. It's fairly tacky, and it's fairly thick as well to protect that midsole. Although I am seeing a bit of a wear on that midsole foam now, because this Fresh Foam X version that they have in the More V6 is quite soft, and it's probably quite delicate as well. Once you get down to it, I can see it rubbing off there a little bit. But overall, it is a shoe that I've very much been enjoying using this. I've been using this for the past 2 weeks, and I've largely been doing easy runs at the moment. I'm just clocking up the miles. I've got Loch Ness Marathon next week, and I'm really just going to be running it at 4-hour pace probably. And this is just a great shoe for that sort of training. It's just so comfortable. Feels great. I'm not looking at my watch a lot when I'm going out. I just want something that just lands me really comfortably, squishes against the ground, and I'm not bothered about getting loads of energy return or anything. I just want to finish that run and go, great, I enjoyed that, my legs feel fresh, and I enjoy it. And the foam felt really nice on the run. So yeah, very much a shoe that is designed for comfort, and the changes in the V6 aren't massive over the V5. Okay, so my verdict on the New Balance More V6. So basically it is, I'll do this in two ways. One, for people who haven't used the More range before, it is a very soft, very chunky cushioned shoe that very much is designed for comfort, cushioning. That's it. You're not getting anything else from this shoe. It's not versatile. It's not a shoe that you can use for picking up the pace. It's not a shoe that is particularly good for anything other than recovery runs, longer runs, a nice comfortable pace. That's it. You wouldn't pick it if you were going to do lots of different types of runs, but that's why I like it. That's the thing I like about the More, and I use it all the time for those runs where I just want to go out and I just want comfort and I like softness. And softness is the key here, because whenever I've spoken to anyone about the More range, especially the V5, the thing that impacts on how much people like the shoe is generally how soft they like shoes. So if you do not like soft shoes, and I imagine Kieran would not like this shoe, you're not going to like it. It is a very soft shoe, even though with the stability changes and stuff in it, it's a very soft shoe. You sink into it, you don't get loads of energy back. It's not bad, but it's just not. If you're expecting something from a shoe, if you want something back from it, you're not really getting it from this. It's just that sinking comfort, very, very enjoyable. But if you don't like soft shoes, you're not going to like the More V6. The other way I could review it is comparing it to the previous versions. So the More V5, I really like the More V5 because I like really soft shoes. It is not a massive change from that shoe. It definitely feels like there's a little bit more stability in it. I definitely felt a little bit of a change in the fit and the upper, but I didn't have a problem with the 5 anyway. So really, the fact that it costs £10 more, and you can buy the New Balance More V5 considerably cheaper now in sales, I would probably say that unless you have a desperate need for, unless you love the V5 but you wanted a little bit more stability in it, stick with the V5, because this is, with £10 more, it's becoming quite an expensive shoe now, and you're not going to get any major developments on it from what you got in the New Balance More V5. So for me, it's a great cushioned, enjoyable, soft shoe. Really, really nice to wear. I love it for those runs. Other shoes that you might look at instead of this are things like the Asics Gel Nimbus 27. Very similar in the stack, but this is a noticeably softer shoe. So that shoe is very good for easy days, very good for longer runs at a comfortable pace, but it's just a little bit more of a balanced midsole. It's a little bit little bit more responsive than what you get in the more V6. Another shoe that you might look at is the New Balance 1080 V14, which uses the same foam, or a very, very similar foam to what you get in the New Balance more V6, but less of it. And that does have a quite big impact on the ride. The 1080 V14 is a very good daily shoe. It's relatively versatile for a daily shoe. It veers more towards the cushioned realm. It's definitely not a daily shoe like the Speed, the Endorphin Speed or something like that. It's very much a cushioned shoe, which is a little bit more versatile. But the fact that this has got a lot more foam in it does change the ride significantly. You get a much softer ride, which just means that the 1080 V14 is a much better pick for you if you want a shoe that can do more. This can't do a lot more. Other shoes that you might look at if you want cushioning, but not as much cushioning as the More V6, would be things like the Saucony Triumph 23 or the Brooks Glycerin 22, which do have a fair bit of cushioning in, but they're a little bit firmer, a little bit more balanced, and more versatile when it comes to daily training sessions. So really, it all comes down to the level of softness that you want from your shoe, because there aren't many shoes out there that are designed specifically as much as the More V6 for those sorts of easy recovery and longest runs at a nice slow pace. But that's why I like it, and it's definitely still one of my favorite shoes just for pure comfort, because I will be picking this shoe up a lot over the next few months just for ticking off those miles. That's it from me on this full review of the New Balance More V6. Thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and click that little bell. If you're going to catch me below, you can find it to our podcast, which comes out a couple of times each month. Thanks a lot for watching. Catch you next time.